Well, today I thought we would do some side bending and have an uplifting and arching lesson.
Mm.
Yeah? So let's go ahead and just lie down on the floor. And make yourself comfortable there on your mat. If it's comfortable, you can have your legs long, and if that's not agreeable this morning, you can have your feet standing. Just take a moment to notice your contact with your mat, with the floor. Notice all the places that touch, how heavy you feel on the floor, the places with the greatest weight and also the places that are the lightest. The fingers, the hair, your eyeballs. Notice your breathing. Observe your breath. And then roll your head a bit and check in with how easy that is for you today. A little right, a little left. And then wrap your right arm around your head, around the top of your head, and take hold of your left ear. So your legs are long and you've wrapped around your head, and if possible, you take hold of your left ear, and with the help of your head, gently, your arm rather, bring your head over to the right. Pull your head over to the right and bring it back. And let the face stay more or less up towards the ceiling. So you're pulling the head along the floor, or you might even lift it a bit to break contact so that you can move the head over to the right, which means your elbow is moving through space to the right and back. And notice if either of your legs becomes shorter, is drawn into you as you draw your head over across the floor to the right. And would it be helpful if you also drew that leg into you as you folded your head over to the right and bring your right elbow closer to your right hip? So maybe your shoulder girdle starts to slide. Maybe the shoulder girdle starts to slide. And so which parts, just thinking of last week's lesson, where's the oppositional movement? If you're folding your ribs to the right and you're drawing your right leg into you, and I'm going to add a constraint. If you're finding your right leg wanting to bend out to the side, keep the leg straight. Keep the leg straight, keep it long. So you might find that the leg moves out to the side as well. Let's take a rest, bring the arm down. There's all kinds of places to notice what helps the movement and what hinders it, and what balances out the direction that we're going. So just a few times as you're lying there, draw your right leg more into you. What does that mean? Think of bringing the right side of the pelvis closer to your right armpit. Think of the leg shortening on the floor. Keeping the legs straight. So maybe think of lengthening the left leg. If you lengthen the left leg, what happens with the right leg? And where do you start that movement from? How do you tilt your pelvis like this? And wrap your right arm around your head again. Take hold of your left ear. And again, pull your head over to the right. Help your head move over the floor, over to the right. Bring your right elbow closer to the right hip a few times. And maybe lengthen the right leg, or I'm sorry, shorten the right leg and lengthen the left leg. And where along your spine are you drawing over to the left? You think of your spine as a bunch of balls all connected by a string floating in a pool. And that string would bend and all the floaters, all those floating balls would float over to the left and make a curve. Where does that happen from? The next time you've drawn your head or moved your head over to the right, leave it there and rest for a moment. You can keep your arm there or not, but bring your right leg a little more to the right and back. Bring your right leg a little more to the right and back. So slide the heel on the floor and open the leg away from the left leg. And feel what happens with your spine when you do that. And then rest your right leg in a comfortable place and bring the left leg closer to it a few times. So close the distance. As your head is folded over to the right, you're bringing your left leg, sweeping it over the floor and bringing it a little closer and then back to place. Now, the next time your leg is close to your other leg, your legs are close to one another, they're over to the right, sort of like a fish. Wrap your right hand around your head again if you brought it away. And now bring everything back to place. Bring the feet and the head back to the center. Bring the feet and the head back to center. And then move them over again. Move them together. And the elbow towards the feet towards the elbow. A little mermaidish. A little mermaidish. Move your flippers over to the right and fold your lovely body, your beautiful self, to the right. And where do you move to the left? What moves over to the left as you fold to the right? What opens as the right places close? And then bring yourself back to whatever neutral means to you and take a rest. And then take your left arm and wrap it around your head and take hold of your right ear. And go through the same process. Go through the same process. So begin by bringing your head over to the left. Help your head move over to the left. Bring your left elbow more to the left. And several times fold. And what parts of you get longer? Does your right leg grow longer? Does your left leg draw into you? Whatever you notice, you can begin to highlight. Maybe that you feel your spine drawing over to the right like a bow, like drawing back a bow. How could you engage with the floor? And then the next time your head is over there to the left, you can stay there. You can stay there and rest there. And begin to open your left leg a little more out to the side and bring it back to place. You could think of lightly pushing something along the floor, something very light. Like there's a ball resting next to your ankle and you're just sort of moving it away. It rolls away from you. And then the next time your leg is in its place, its normal place, bring your right leg a little closer to it. Then come back. And where along your right side, where does it wake up? What has to be able to let go? Could you move your head a little more to the left the next time you bring your right leg closer to your left? Mm-hmm. And then the next time your legs are together and you're folded like a mermaid over to the left, bring everything back to your center line and then go back again to the left, fold to the left and feel how you pull your legs over, how you draw your spine in the opposite direction. Think of different places you can initiate from, and then gather into the fray. Just explore. And then leave it alone and rest. And now stand both your feet in a comfortable place. And again, wrap your right arm around the top of your head, take hold of your left ear. And this time, bring your left hand behind your head. Bring your left hand to support your head from behind. And now carry your head. So the right arm and elbow will be pulling the head to the right, and the left arm will support the movement of the head over to the right. You sort of pull and carry the head at the same time. So your right elbow is moving downwards towards your hip, and your left elbow is drawing an arc overhead. Notice what you do with your pelvis and how your spine pulls to the left or draws to the left like a bow as you shorten the right. And then the next time you have folded over there to the right, stay there with the head supported with the left hand and the right hand around the left ear. And just raise and lower the right side of your pelvis a few times, which means you'll be turning the pelvis to the left a bit. Raise and lower, pressing through the right foot. Notice where the knee goes. So you're folded to the right. You're folded to the right and you're raising and lowering the right side of your pelvis, which is opening what? Where does it encourage a little more space on the left side of you? And then the next time your pelvis is on the floor, bring yourself back to the center, unwrap your arms, and take a rest. Stand your feet again. And this time, bring both your knees over your chest. Bring your legs in the air. Your legs in the air. And find your right ankle with your right hand. You can take hold of the front of your right ankle with your right hand. And slide down from the knee, down the shin. Hold your leg. And if you can't hold the ankle, you will be able to soon. And then play around with where would you stand the left foot down on the floor now. Stand the left foot down. You're holding around the outside. Okay, I should be more specific. Yeah, hold around the outside of your right leg. Search for your right ankle. And now where on the floor could you stand the right foot? Where would you place it to still hold onto it? And place it over there. Place your foot down on the floor while you're holding on to it. If you can't reach your ankle, hold on to your tights. Hold on to your tights from behind. Hold on to your tights. And lift and lower the knee several times. And notice the rather odd place. So the foot goes a bit out to the side and the knee, what does the knee need to do? Comes a bit to the inside. Think of the knee coming a bit to the inside as the foot is placed down to the outside. And then from there, holding onto your ankle or your pants, your foot is over to the right on the floor. Place your left hand underneath your head and slide your head, help your head move over to the right again a few times. So now you're really like a bow because you've got the string, the sinew attached to the ankle. You're drawing back the bow. This is our Valentine lesson. And Cupid's quiver. And the next time you have folded yourself to the right, you're holding onto your right ankle, your head's over to the right and your hand is supporting. Lift your right hip from the floor a few times. Lift and lower your right hip. And go ahead, I'll let you get away with it. Let your knees tilt to the left. Let your knees tilt to the left. And what happens with your right thigh? You can direct it down in between the legs. A bit. Now notice if your pelvis wants to slide over to the left. Sometimes when we start doing this, the pelvis will want to unweight itself and move over to the left. So go ahead and do that. Let your knees tilt to the left and let your pelvis move over to the left too. Move it over. Just move the whole thing over and come back, which means both of your feet have to be on the floor to lift your pelvis to move it over to the left, Barbara. So keep your feet on the floor. Keep your feet on the floor. Keep both and move your pelvis over. And bring everything back to center and lengthen down your legs and take a rest. Stand up your feet. Bring both your knees over your chest and slide your left hand down the front of your left shin to take hold of your left ankle. If you can't reach your ankle, hold on to your shin or hold on to your pants. And then place the right foot down, find a good place for it. And then search around for how you're going to stand the left foot on the floor and still hold on to it. So still hold on to it. So you become a unit, a joined unit. And let's make the ape, let's take the ape grip. Bring the thumb together with your fingers. Bring the thumb with your fingers. Yeah, it's a different grip. So in order to make the foot able to place on the floor, you might need to move your foot over to the left. Now, what do you do in your hip? It's a rather odd feeling. And now with your foot standing, holding on to your left ankle or your pants, slip your right hand under your head and help your head slide a few times over to the left and back. And you can experiment for yourself if it's easier for you to keep the face towards the ceiling, or what would happen if the face turned as though you wanted to look at the right elbow. It's two very different situations for the spine. You can keep the back of the head in line with the floor and the face in line with the ceiling, assuming you have a flat ceiling. And then you can turn the head and look in the direction of the right elbow, which is moving upwards. Moving away from the right hip, pointing to a corner in the room. And you can look along the arm, the forearm, not the forearm, the upper arm with your eyes. Look along that bone to your elbow and feel what that does to your back. And now from there, the next time you are there, turned with your face looking at your elbow, your head is moved over to the left, lift and lower the left side of your pelvis a few times, keeping the feet on the floor. Where in the back is working? The left side of the back. Travel with your eyes along your upper arm to the elbow and then look at what it's pointing at in the room. And feel what the eyes, how the eyes help the back to engage even more. Excellent. Undo it and take a rest. And fold both your knees over your chest. Bring the legs in the air, bring the feet in the air, and hold below the knees under the thighs. And lift the head and look forward and just begin to swing the legs a little bit, a little towards the head and a little towards the floor. So you start to fold and unfold the legs as a way to get the spine to rock. And keep the head lifted from the floor so that you can rock over your spine like a runner. Keep the head lifted the whole time. Keep looking at the knees. So unfold the legs, Jeannie, like toss them towards the mirror, the dreaded mirror. But don't break it. Yeah, there. Oops, we won't have her stay with us anymore. Yes, okay, I got it. Take a rest. Roll your head. And rest. Just breathe in and out. Cool air in, warm air out. And let's go simpler. Let's go a little simpler. Stand your feet again. Have your hands interlaced and your hands supporting your head from behind. And from here, carry your head over to the right and bring your right elbow towards your right hip and your left elbow away from your left hip. Fold yourself to the right. Think of the elbows cutting a nice swath. And back. And make it smooth and continuous. And which of your legs is drawn more into you than the other? Is there a sense that your right hip might be drawn more into you? And the next time you are folded to the right, lengthen down your left leg. Fold to the right, lengthen down your left leg. And then continue folding yourself to the right and coming back with your left leg long. And now the next time you're folded over to the right, stay there. Stay there like a fish out of water and lift and lower the right side of your pelvis. Roll it to the right. The foot is standing on the floor. I'm sorry, I said right. Roll your pelvis to the left. Lift the right side of your pelvis and roll it to the left. Turn it to the left. And now play with this idea of the eyes turning to look along the line of your left upper arm in the direction of your elbow as you lift the pelvis and roll it to the left. So that the back of the head starts to move along your palms and turn and perhaps even slide. Your hair can slide. And look in the direction of the left elbow. And feel as you travel with your eyes along the line of your arm, what happens in your back. What's going on in your chest? If the back is folding and arching, what is the chest doing? What is the belly doing? And what if you blew the belly out and pushed the belly forward and over to the left? Very full. Think a very full belly. Ah, that changed something. Okay, slowly undo yourself and take a rest. Stand your feet again. Interlace your fingers the non-habitual way. Bring them behind your head, and a few times help your head slide over to the left. Fold yourself to the left and experiment with how you do this. Do you leave your pelvis flat on the floor? What would happen if it turned? Or you unweighted one half of it? What happens if you fold yourself to the left with your belly pulled in versus with the belly pushed out? What's happening to the knees? They can tilt to the right. They can tilt to the right. And then make a commitment that your knees don't tilt to the right. How is that different? You can tilt them once and then make the commitment not to tilt them. How is it different for the spine, the back, the belly? There's all kinds of things to experiment with. And the back, it has to strain on the left. And not in the negative connotation, not in the negative meaning of that word, but the back strains to arch. Yeah, it can be a nice feeling, it can be a welcome feeling. Let's take a rest. Stand up your feet. Interlace your fingers, bring your hands behind your head. And fold yourself alternately to the right and to the left. Fold yourself alternately to the right and to the left. And how do you engage with the floor? And how might you use your belly? And is it easier to fold yourself to the side if your knees tilt or if they stay more or less up to the ceiling? What about the pelvis? Can the pelvis roll? And what if you did this movement as though you wanted to see what your elbow that's moving away from your hip is pointing at? In a smooth movement that you can feel the gaze go up and across the room, and your back conforms to support your desire to see where the elbow is pointing. And go very slowly. Go very slowly. So you can feel how you gather your back underneath you. Okay, take a rest. Oh, I know what we didn't do. We didn't do the other side with the leg long. So stand up your feet. Let's do that. Bring your hands interlaced behind your head, non-habitually. And send your left leg down. Send your left leg down. And help your head move over to the right as you use your foot and leg to roll your pelvis to the left. And the knee can go forward. And there's a place where it's you move your pelvis. It's like the way the pelvis is moving, it ends up that the foot is kind of standing to the outside of it, right? And now the next time that you're folded over to the right. Look with your eyes towards your left armpit and along the bone, along the arm to the tip of the elbow, and feel what happens in your back. And let the belly be full and forward. And just with the eyes, sort of go along the length of your upper arm a few times with soft eyes, but observing the rest of you. What happens in the back of the neck when the eyes are looking up towards the elbow? Can you breathe? And come back to place. Pause for a moment. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a full rest. Looks like we need a full rest. Roll your head. And rest. And bring your feet again over your chest. And hold on below the knees, underneath the thigh, underneath the knees, underneath the calves. And just swing like you're in a swing. Or to swing. And let the legs, as they move away from you, they can pull, you can help yourself as though you wanted to come to sitting, rolling back and then coming to sitting. There you go. Once you find it's all in the timing, isn't it? So you wanted to swing yourself to sitting. And take a rest. And let's take one more entanglement. Stand your feet, bring your left hand around your head to take hold of your right ear. Bring your right hand behind your head to support it. And lengthen down your right leg. So you've got your left arm wrapped around your head and your right hand behind the head. The left hand is wrapped around the top of the head. The left hand's wrapped, there you go. And take hold of your ear, there you go. And now you're supporting your head from behind with your left hand and you're wrapped around the top of it with your, which one are we doing? Yes, your right hand is supported underneath, your left hand is wrapped around it. I'm sorry, I got confused. Okay. Pull your head with your left hand over to the left and help it move with your right hand, which is behind it. And turn your pelvis to the right, roll it to the right, and keep the knee up towards the ceiling. And now, how could you use your right leg against the floor in such a way that it would be as though you could turn your pelvis underneath your body. You could turn it and almost sweep the right side of the pelvis underneath yourself. But it's, yeah. So you're really like a fish. But it's not about rolling onto the side. It's not about rolling onto the side. It's a spiral. So you don't have to move the pelvis a lot. Just think of how you could engage with the floor to give yourself leverage into your spine through your right leg, and keep looking with your eyes. Keep looking along your right arm past your elbow. Beautiful. Go slowly. And come back to place and take a rest. And go through the same process on the other side. So your right leg will be standing. Your left leg will be long. Your right hand will be around your head. And your left hand will be behind supporting it. And so now help carry the head, pull and carry the head over to the right, and roll the pelvis. And then just find out how you can engage a little bit with the left leg, so it's as though to turn the pelvis underneath you, just as a way of engaging the back a little more completely. And then look with your eyes along the bone of your left upper arm, and maybe even beyond. You can take the eyes up into the top of the head, and the neck can go back. So it's a little bit like doing a full back bend, except only on one side. As you're cradling your head and carrying your head and looking with your eyes. Did you blow the belly out, or did you pull it in? Let the movement develop gradually. Okay, take a rest. Now bring your legs again over your chest. Fold your legs and take hold of your right ankle with your right hand from the outside and stand it on the floor. And then take hold of your left ankle with your left hand and stand it on the floor. Boom. And you stand both feet on the floor as you hold on to the ankles. Boom. How do you do that? If you can't hold on to your ankles, hold on to your knees. The feet have to be folded quite close to you, but hold on to your knees, hold on to your pants, but don't let go. Don't let your legs slip out of your hands. Let's find where you're going to place your feet on the floor. Place your feet on the floor. And then just a little bit, lift one pelvis, not one lung, lift one side of your pelvis, lift the other side of your pelvis. Sort of holding onto your pants or holding onto your ankle. And your head can slide, your head can turn, your head can roll, can do anything it needs to do. But the feet are standing on the floor and you're joined to your legs, to your feet, through your hands. So Barbara, for you, Jeannie and Dillis, take a rest. Stand your feet on the floor. Bring your arms down by your sides. And now slide your right hand towards your right heel. And then slide your left hand towards your left heel. And let your head slide to support that movement. Let your head slide. Let your pelvis turn. So if you're sliding your right hand towards your right heel, you could lift the right side of your pelvis and vice versa. As though you wanted to slip your hand underneath your heel. Of course, we're not going to do that, but slide your whole arm towards your heel. Okay. Okay, take a rest. And just to lengthen out our backs, fold your knees over your chest, interlace your fingers, bring your hands behind your head, lift your head in the air, bring your elbows and your knees towards each other, and rock forward and back. Rock forward and back, just a little bit, just a little bit. The knees can open and close just a little bit to rock you. That's all they need to do is just open the knees and close them just a little bit. Keep the knees and the elbows towards each other. And then open and close the lower legs. Open and close the lower legs. Open and close the lower legs. That's it. And keep the knees and the elbows as close as you can together. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I think we'll call it, I think we'll call that a lesson. I think we'll revisit this lesson again, maybe even next week, but
Okay.
yes, we're going to revisit it next week, but we're going to have two scarves.
Okay.
We're going to have two scarves so that we can make our arms longer. Because if it's
Wow.
difficult to take hold of your ankle, it's, you know, you need an extender. And yeah, we'll have fun with that. So next week, bring a couple of scarves that we can tie ourselves up with. And we'll take this lesson to the next level.